When Kitty Met the Ghost. Written by Austin Albert Mardon and Ernest George Mardon. Edited by Pauline Balagan. Illustrated by Alexa Goose. Narrated by Dane Bjornson. Chapter 1. Well, here we are in the jolly old town of O'Neill, in the heart of my highlands and the old land of your mother, my dear, Arthur Conway said, the self-made millionaire and owner of the great Conway Field in northwest Canada. As he said it, he looked at the other person in the small car. "Oh, it is lovely, Daddy, darling. It's ever so quiet and peaceful," answered his daughter, Kitty Conway. Arthur laughed as he climbed out of the car and said, "It will not be so for long. As soon as my little girl gets anywhere, it ends up getting to be quite lively. But I agree with you that it is quiet for now. In fact, a bit too quiet. And I, for one, say that it will rain before nightfall." It was about 2 in the afternoon when they arrived at the hotel. An elderly man stood to one side, staring dourly at the sky. "Hey, it will be raining long before nightfall. It always does when new people come by way of Torphin Castle. That there used to belong to Be-Back Gordon, the devil of the D," the man said in a cracked voice. "Oh, did you say Gordon?" Mr. Conway asked in a hurried tone. And Kitty, looking at her father, saw that he had gone quite pale and wondered why. Before the bearded old man could answer, a cheery voice called from inside the hotel, in front of which the car had stopped. "Come on! If you want any lunch, you'd best hurry. They are clearing the tables." The speaker was a cheery-looking man of about 40, who seemed very pleased with himself. As soon as the old man heard the voice from behind them, he started to walk off quickly, after giving Kitty a quick look with his dark eyes. "Stop!" Arthur cried, and would have followed but for the other man, who ran out of the hotel and quickly put his hand on Mr. Conway's shoulder. "I would not follow that man if I were you," he said. "Why ever not?" Arthur cried, growing red in the face, obviously uncomfortable with being treated in this way. "Because, my dear sir, he is a madman." "If I wish to speak to a man you call mad, I can, and I will," said Arthur, in a calmer voice. "I am very sorry indeed, sir, to interfere with your business. I'll be more careful in the future." The man turned and walked in the opposite direction than the old man had. "Well, Kitty, that was unusual. Let us go in and see if we can get anything to eat. I don't know about you, but I am simply dying for want of food." Kitty said, "Oh, let's. I feel so famished I could faint." But she gave her father a peculiar look. It was not like him to get so cross over a trivial thing, but of course, he had been working far too hard lately. Some strange business had taken up all of his time, and a holiday was in order. What a holiday it would be in the Highlands, where Kitty's dear departed mother had spent her childhood. Kitty looked with wonder at a mountain they had just driven through but a short time ago. "Come along, dear, and don't dally," said Arthur, as he disappeared inside the hotel. But she stood and looked at the mountain, and as she looked, a dark black cloud quickly appeared from nowhere, it seemed. A cold wind came down from the mountains, and although it had been light a minute prior, the land was now cast into frightening darkness. Kitty turned and moved into the hotel and found her father in the hall talking with a man with a grating voice. He looked like a servant, and Kitty assumed that he was. Kitty heard her father say to the man, "Ring Whitehall 1212 for me, at once. When you get through, call me." The man went pale and said, "I hope that nothing is wrong, sir." "Why? Should there be?" Mr. Conway answered as he held the dining-room door open for his daughter to pass through. The man who was left in the hall looked at the back of the millionaire with fear, but after the door of the dining-room closed, he turned and went into a nearby office to make the phone call. When the phone connected, he did not ask for Whitehall 1212, but for an Aberdeen number, and said in a quick, breathless voice, "Is that you? George Scott." "Stop!" the voice on the other end of the wire commanded. "Why do you always call me that name, you fool?" "I'm sorry, sir, I forgot." "It is your job not to forget. The name is Martin, John Martin." "Yes, sir, I will remember, sir. You said to send to you the coat you left behind by post, sir." "Good of you to remember."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?